Hey everybody. So as you saw, Kayleena got a new iPhone, that SE one. So we're gonna make her a case and took the measurements, designed everything up. This pattern, this is the first time we've made it, so in this video, fingers crossed it fits. But if it doesn't, I'll adjust it and the pattern will be available at the second link in the description. It's kind of asymmetrical, it's funky. It turns out that the iPhone SE and whatever you had before, like a 7 or whatever, they're pretty much identical. So the buttons, has access to all the buttons, and then you can charge it while it's in the case, and then it'll hold some cards as well. So let's get into it. With the pattern cut out, we can trace out the pattern on the leather. I have some really nice Hermann Oak bridle in London tan, I believe, and I love the patterning. So the only special thing about this pattern, because I didn't make two pieces, this is going to have to be mirrored. So I just have to remember to flip my pattern, trace it the separate way so that they match up grain out to grain out, because it is asymmetrical. So we'll get this traced out, and then we'll get it cut, and then we'll get into the assembly. One good tip when you're using a kind of a slippery leather like this, and generally leather will get more slippery the more oils that are used in its processing, which with English bridle there are a lot of oils. It's beautiful. But your patterns will slip around, so you can use pattern weights, or you can just kind of throw your maul on top of the pattern. And the cool thing is that odds are if you move it, it's going to rotate. It's not going to slide forward or back. So you can just kind of rotate it back and just catch right back up on your line there. And if you're going to be using an English bridle or something like that, again, remember, corkback ruler or some sort of anti-slip ruler is super important all the time, but it's extra important on leather like this because all it takes is one ruler slip and you're pulling your blade straight into your hand. And then the next step, this is optional, you don't need to do this, but I figure the phone's really slim and stuff, so we're going to skive down some of our edges just to kind of remove some bulk. I'm going to skive the pockets around, or the pocket around the edge, and then I'm going to skive the main body part, but I'm not going to skive, this part's going to be open. We're only stitching from here to here, so I'm not going to skive this to leave some bulk, because it'd feel really weird if it was like paper thin, but I am going to skive any edge that's going to be stitched. And these skiving knives from Weaver are great. I think they call them the flat leather knives. They stay really sharp, they're really affordable, made in Japan, and you can also cut straight lines with them too, if that's your style. And if you don't skive, or you haven't learned how to skive by hand with a knife yet, using a leather like this bridle is a really good way to start, because it does have more oils in it, so the knive's going to slide through it a little bit easier. And it's nice to practice on a little bit of a more oily hide before you move to really dry veg stands, because the more dry the hide is, your knife needs to be sharp regardless, but the harder it is to get your knife through in a really smooth manner. So by practicing on a bridle like this, you'll be able to learn much easier. So I only burnished the top of the pocket because I want to get everything together, and then we'll sand everything down so it matches and it lines up nice, and then we'll burnish the rest of it. The one thing I'm going to do, we're not going to just glue it all together, because with this pocket, with a credit card, when you put the card in, I don't want it to overlap the charging port. So I'm going to end up just stitching a little X right here to keep cards stopping about there. So to do that, I have to glue the card pocket to a single side first. We'll stitch the X, and then we'll glue everything together. So then flip it over, put the card in, and that stops it. And then once we have this piece in, we'll still be able to charge it. I think that was pretty cool. All right, so now all we're gonna do is get the rest of this glued up. Remember, we're not gonna glue on the open part, we're only gonna glue on the parts that we skived. So now we have everything glued together. This is kind of an interesting design because I didn't really try to line everything up totally perfect because everything is so matched up that I wanted to go through and once it was together, trim everything, sand everything so it's all really, really smooth together. So that's what I'm gonna go do now. I'm gonna start with a nice new sharp blade, and then I'm gonna sand everything and burnish it so that it's all very smooth and even to the touch. And that's a good way to get, if you see pieces and you're like, wow, how did they line everything up? A good way in leatherwork is to just kind of get rough fitment when you're gluing together, and then go through and trim everything to match. And then you can sand it, and that's what gets you a really smooth finish. So that's what we're gonna do now. So I hand cut this little curve here. These are always super difficult. If you want, you can glue everything together and then use something like a strap end punch in this way to just punch through everything. If you do hand cut and it's a little bit wonky like mine is, what you can do is you can take a piece of sandpaper and some like a Sharpie or a dowel or something like that that fits that curve, and you just wrap the sandpaper around your curved object, and then we're just going to put it in and just sand that way. And by doing that, that's a really easy way to get this whole curve sanded down to the shape of this, your dowel, your round thing that has your sandpaper on it. So that's what I'm doing because I kind of screwed up a little bit, but you can always save it. And so I've sanded everything down pretty well on this one. Usually I wait till after I stitch, but because everything kind of has to match up, but you have open seams and stuff for this one, I just wanted to make sure I had everything right. And so now all we're gonna do is we're gonna lay stitch line. It's gonna actually be two separate stitch lines. We're gonna do one here and one here split by this little notch for the charging port. Here we go, finished product. So I'm really happy with this. It came out nice. I'm really surprised that I got. It's hard sometimes when you're designing to account for thickness. This just ended up working really well. And so if we look at the case, we have, of course, our little card holder in the front, so you can carry a couple cards with you. This is kind of interesting. We're gonna do in the pattern, I'm gonna make another version of this case that goes all the way up. So this concept is that all of the buttons on either side are accessible, and then if you want to check the time, you just fold it down. You can see the time without taking the phone out of the case. It does protect it, but I can understand why people would want a case to come up a little further, so we're going to include that. And then the last thing, you don't have to take out charge, you can just plug your charger in right there. And so that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching. If you're making along, good luck. It's a fun little project, and we'll see you in the next one.